Service Electric Cable TV and Communications is proud to present live local high school football action in the comfort of your home. This public service is brought to you by the industry pioneer and local community leader providing the best in television, telephone, and internet services. Service Electric Cable TV and Communications, family owned and operated since 1948. We're your neighbors.
And for the 83rd time in the proud history of these two city schools, football programs, GAR and Meyers will meet on the football field tonight here at Wilkes-Barre Memorial Stadium. Thank you so much for joining us here on Service Electric TV. I'm Paul Garrity, and I am excited to bring this one to you. GAR coming into tonight's game with a playoff berth on the line. For the Mohawks, it is all about playing spoiler and breaking their 6-game losing streak. But more so than all of that, these two teams, they just want to win this game for pride reasons. This is something that these kids will talk about 20 years from now when they come back for class reunions and things of that nature. Did you beat Meyers? Did you beat GAR in week number 10? And there's an atmosphere among these two teams that you don't normally see for a regular season game. And this should be a very good one here tonight in week number 10 from Wilkes-Barre Memorial Stadium. We're about to get underway here. Meyers will receive the opening kick. Meyers dressed in white with their pink socks for this week 10 game. GAR in their dark blue uniforms. GAR is technically the home team for tonight's game, as both teams obviously use this facility as their home field. Darwin Reyes is the kicker for GAR, and he will send it deep to Stephen Morrell along with Mark Robinson back standing at the 10-yard line. Meyers coming in with a record of 3-6, and GAR needs a win to make the district playoffs. They come in with a record of 6-3. And let's get this party started on a Friday night in week number 10. It'll be Robinson returning from his own 8. Mark Robinson, the junior, is brought down at the 24-yard line. Brought down by Anthony Morent. So the Mohawks, who dropped a heartbreaker last week by 7 points to Holy Redeemer by a final score of 25-18. Willie Wallace is your quarterback in his 3rd start of the season. Wallace coming in, completing just a tick under 50% of his passes for 136 yards and a couple of touchdowns.
Robinson on the carry.
Handoff goes up the middle on 1st down. That'll be a gain of about 3. It'll bring up 2nd down and 7. The rest of the offensive lineup for the Mohawks, Zahir Donnell and A.J. Mazzone are the 2 running backs. Mark Robinson, Stephen Morrell, and T.J. Sistrunk will catch the passes from Wallace today. The linemen are Chris Edwards, P.J. Morales, Austin Yanora, Rich Asua, and your center is Matt Yeckel. A couple of runs on the first 2 plays for the Mohawks, nothing surprising there. Meyers will run the ball almost exclusively. They've only thrown 78 passes in the first 9 games of the season. And it'll be a 3rd and 2 on the opening possession. And GAR defense pushes it back. Robinson not able to get any surge up the middle, and that'll set up a 4th and 1. And right away a decision for Coach Corey Hansen on 4th and 1. Hansen in his 4th season here at Meyers, and it looks like he'll elect to play field position. punt the football away. Anthony Morent stands back at the 35 to return this kick. Takes a Meyers roll. And GAR will start off from their own 39-yard line to begin this one. Gary Kroll is your quarterback for the Grenadiers. He's come on. He seems like he's improving every week. His proudest moment of the season was engineering that long fourth quarter touchdown drive a couple of weeks ago against Holy Redeemer to keep the Grenadiers in the playoff hunt. Kroll comes in just a little bit under 50% as well. Excellent touchdown ratio, 9 touchdowns to only 4 picks. He's thrown for 730 yards. Anthony Morent on first down picks up about 8 yards. Anthony Morent had 4 touchdowns last week in the Grenadiers' 38-7 win over the Nanticoke Trojans. Morent most likely will eclipse the 1,000-yard mark in the first half this week. He needs only about 30 more after that first carry. 2nd and 1 coming up. First penalty of the game will go against GAR. No, it'll go against the Grenadiers for a offsides call. Don't often see that against the offense. I'll bring up 2nd down 6. Mike Drozda is the fullback. He's also been coming on in recent weeks. Justin Crosby and Dejan Rush are your wide receivers. Greg Skrepnek, the big tall tight end. Morent on 2nd and 6. Can he get outside? Pretty good pursuit by TJ Sistrunk to prevent much of a gain there. It'll be 3rd and about 4. Your offensive line for the Grenadiers: Anthony Easter, Josephat Brito, Jeremy Earhart, Saul Wilkins, and Robbie Petrovich. It'll be 3rd and along 3. Drozda is brought down after a very short gain. Big Rich Asua got in there. So similar starts for both these teams. They're both going to face a 4th and short. Meyers deciding to punt. GAR faces a longer one. This is 4th and a full 2 yards. We'll see what Paul Weidlich wants to do. Weidlich in his 5th season here with the Grenadiers, couple of district championships under his belt. He's going to be aggressive here on 4th and 2. Big play early in this game as Kroll takes the snap. Morent pulls over a tackler and has the Grenadier first down. Anthony Morent didn't have it. He needed to break that tackle, and he did it. Made it look easy. It's a first down of the game. Goes for the Grenadiers into Meyers territory. Kroll deep over the middle, a wide open man. Greg Skrepnek brings it in and goes into the end zone. A 46-yard touchdown. A blown coverage in the secondary for Meyers, and the Grenadiers are up 6-0. So after Morent picks up the first down on 4th and 2, the first pass play of the game goes for a 46-yard touchdown. Darwin Reyes kicks the extra point. And with 7:08 to go in quarter number 1, the Grenadiers take an early 7-0 lead here on Service Electric, Channel 19.
On Main and Bennett in Luzerne, there's a scene happening. Hipsters and Cosmo changes are digging a boutique so groovy, it'll blow your mind. A place where handmade jewelry, dresses, tie-dyes, hemp items, and accessories are worn by hippies and squares alike. You'll find merchandise from your favorite pop combos. Turn on and stop by Dead Ahead Gifts, 485 Bennett Street, Luzerne, 570-287-2877.
GAR scores on their opening possession on a 46-yard touchdown reception by Greg Skrepnak after Meyers went 3 and out. Halloween night here at Wilkes-Barre Memorial Stadium. Large contingent of fans have brought their costumes here. Pretty good atmosphere for this rivalry game between these two schools. Throw out the record books. So sounds like a cliche, but when these two teams get together, it really is true. Zahir Donnell returning this kickoff from his own 11. Just not able to get outside. Dejan Rush on the stop. Meyers with a little better field position for this drive. They'll start at about their 31-yard line. Let's introduce the defense for GAR. They'll line up in a 4-4 attack. Anthony Easter, Jeremy Earhart, Saul Wilkins, and Greg Skrepnak, the lineman. All 4 of those players will go both ways tonight. Shaquan Everett, Mike Drozda, Titus Winstead, and Justin Crosby, the linebackers. Your defensive backs are Josh Goodwin, Nate Lucky, and Dejan Rush. As Meyers has some trouble with the snap, that's going to be a pretty big loss on the play back to the 24-yard line. They call it a loss of 7 yards. Meyers coming into this game averaging 192 yards on the ground. Not much of a passing attack, second to last in the Wyoming Valley Conference, only 43 yards per game, largely because they don't attempt many passes. And on Wallace on 2nd and 17 is intercepted, and all the way into the end zone, Titus Winstead, who has made a habit of that this season. Winstead, who had 3 pick sixes in the single quarter earlier this season against Holy Cross, goes the distance there from about 20 yards. And the Grenadiers, not even halfway into this first quarter, have a couple of touchdowns on the board already. Titus Winstead, a senior. Nice way to start off his Meyers-GAR rivalry game. Here's a fake. Kroll trying to get outside, dives for the pylon and gets there. Gary Kroll with some nice balance that time to maintain his footing. And GAR runs it in for 2. 15-0 Grenadiers in week number 10.
At Video Innovations, we take a fresh new approach to producing television commercials, videos for marketing, corporate communications, and websites. We also offer media placement services throughout northeastern Pennsylvania. Call this number or visit our website at videoinnovations.com to see what we can do for your business. It's more affordable than you think. Video Innovations. Our business is your business.
Welcome back to the Meyers-GAR rivalry game here on Service Electric Television. If you tuned in a few minutes late, you've already missed a couple of Grenadier touchdowns. First one on a 46-yard touchdown reception by Greg Skrepnak. And the most recent on an interception return for a touchdown by the senior linebacker Titus Winstead. Read the quarterback's eyes perfectly. Made a nice catch and ran it in unmolested. Looks like we'll have an offsides call here against the Grenadiers. So the Grenadiers will have to go backwards 5 yards to kick this one off. GAR, it's very simple. With a win tonight, they will play next week in the District 2 playoffs. Their opponent will likely be the Dunmore Bucks. If not Dunmore, it will be Northwest, who defeated GAR earlier this season. With a loss, GAR could still get in with a Hanover loss tonight to Nanticoke. But Paul Weidlich certainly wants to take care of business on his squad's end, and so far they're off to a pretty good start. Here's a pretty nice return by Mark Robinson, and he is grabbed by the shirt tails to possibly present a touchdown. Robinson all the way into GAR territory, and boy did Meyers need a big play. Kind of break this momentum that GAR has stormed out with. It'll be 1st and 10 Mohawks from the GAR 48. This run goes for only a couple of yards. Nice stop made by the GAR defense. Michael Dempsey back into the lineup this week for Meyers. He missed the last couple games with an injury, so good to see Michael back on the field tonight. Dempsey, 5'6", 120 pounds. He brings some speed into this Meyers attack. Gain of 2, it'll be 2nd and 8. They fake it to Dempsey, and that play goes nowhere. What a defensive play for GAR by their big lineman, Jeremy Earhart. Got into the backfield, and that play just had no chance. Earhart exploding off the ball to make that stop. Down under 5 minutes to go here in the first quarter. Meyers trailing the Grenadiers 15-0. Third down 8 as Wallace takes the shotgun snap. Here's A.J. Mazzone up the middle. And he's brought down quickly by Anthony Easter. Right around the 42, that'll be 4th and about 3 yards. A.J. Mazzone, the 3rd leading rusher for this Mohawk team. Looks like the Meyers sideline can't quite decide what to do here. Play clock's down to 5. They may have to burn a timeout, and that is what will happen. So Corey Hansen takes a timeout. 3:50 to go in quarter number 1. It's 15-0 GAR.
When your product isn't as good as cable, you hire an expensive law firm. When you hire an expensive law firm, they write small print.
Smaller.
When people don't read the small print, they sign up for a product that is not as good as cable. When they discover that they signed up for a product that is not as good as cable, they read the small print. When they read the small print, they lose consciousness. Don't lose consciousness. Ditch the dish. Call Service Electric for digital cable and the fastest internet speeds.
Meyers faces a key 4th down here as they trail GAR by a couple of touchdowns. Thanks for joining us here on this Friday night, Halloween night. Hopefully you enjoyed your trick-or-treating if you were out. Game time temperature tonight, 49 degrees. Not too bad for week number 10. Meyers will line up to punt on 4th and 3. And it's a fake. And Mark Robinson's not going anywhere. GAR was ready for it. And Saul Wilkins led the way. Mike Drozda was there as well, but Saul Wilkins was the first one to make that hit. Wilkins, one of the better defensive linemen you're going to find around this area. And GAR was completely ready for that fake. Grenadiers take over, 1st and 10. Here's Drozda, the fullback, who's hit hard. TJ Sistrunk up from his linebacker spot. He shot right through that gap. He made the big hit on Drozda, gain of 1. Second down, 9. The motion man is Rashawn Jackson. And here's Morent. Morent's going to pick up about 3 across midfield. 4th carry of the night for Anthony Morent. 5'9", 182-pound junior. He is very close to the 1,000-yard mark for the season at this point. 12 touchdowns for Morent on the ground, along with a couple through the air. Morent's also the leading receiver for the Grenadiers. Although that actually changed with that 46-yard touchdown by Skrepnak early in the game. Ball is on the ground, and I think Meyers has it. Here we go. Michael Dempsey down the sideline. And the Meyers Mohawks take advantage of the first turnover of the game. Michael Dempsey brings it inside the 10-yard line. And the Mohawks are in business. Clock shows 2 minutes and 7 seconds to go here in this first quarter. GAR jumped out early to a 15-0 lead. But the Mohawks 6 yards away from cutting the lead. Here's Rich Asua on a handoff. And he charges into the line. So, according to my statistics here from the Citizens Voice, that's Asua's first carry of the season. GAR, a nice job bringing the big guy down, and we have an injured player on the field. So we'll step aside. 1:50 to go here in the first quarter. Meyers attempting to punch it in.
I'm Scott Gannon from Video Innovations. I've been producing television commercials and corporate videos for over 15 years, and I'm very excited about video on the internet, your video on the internet. Figuring out the best way to get the most out of your advertising dollars is getting more complicated. There are just too many yellow page books, And some say newspapers won't even be around in 10 years. More and more consumers are going to the web to find what they're looking for. What I do is to take your story, your products, services, your expertise, and package that into a clear and concise 2-minute video that will tell your story to prospective clients. I post your video on my Wyoming Valley Business channel so that it's on the internet for people to see and find. You don't even have to have a website. We'll give you a copy of the video on disc, so if you do have a website, you can post it there. You can even email the video to customers. I'll show you how. Call me at 570-719-9986 or visit my website at videoinnovations.com and I'll get your story on the internet.
Oh, I love this movie. The killer is calling from a cell phone in the closet
Funny anymore.
behind her. Watch this part, watch this part. Are you watching? Remember that guy. What? Where are you going?
Get Service Electric View Now movie service so you can watch what you want with who you want. Included free with our ultimate digital package.
Oscar? Is that you?
On Main and Bennett in Luzerne, there's a scene happening. Hipsters and Cosmo changes are digging a boutique so groovy, it'll blow your mind. A place where handmade jewelry, dresses, tie-dyes, hemp items, and accessories are worn by hippies and squares alike. You'll find merchandise from your favorite pop combos. Turn on and stop by Dead Ahead Gifts, 485 Bennett Street, Luzerne, 570-287-2877.
Welcome back to Wilkes-Barre Memorial Stadium as they help Austin Unora off the field. Never like to see that in a game, you know, both of these teams were really looking forward to, for the young man to have to come off the field like that. Hopefully Austin will be all right, especially as a senior. To have to end your high school football career that way is certainly not what Mr. Unora had in mind, but we'll see. It looks like he's walking off under his own power, so we'll keep an eye on his progress. 2nd down and goal. Mohawks, and here's A.J. Mazzone driving forward. He's going to be stopped short of the goal line. Mazzone's 2nd carry of the night brings him about halfway there. You have to think certainly 4-down territory for the Mohawks here, and they have a 3rd down and goal. Donnell and Robinson are the running backs. Here's Donnell. No, that's Mazzone. Mazzone stopped short again. This GAR defensive line has been stepping up in recent weeks. They are tough to run against, and they're showing it here on this series. 4th and goal, Mohawks from the 2-yard line, trailing 15-0. Mazzone again. He's going to need to break a couple of tackles. He can't do it. The Grenadiers defense holds with 24 seconds remaining here in the 1st quarter. And that's got to be a little bit deflating for the Mohawks. They had the ball 1st and goal inside the 10 after the turnover. They tried to run it in behind their big, talented offensive line, but GAR just too strong in there. So the Grenadiers take over. We'll see if they can go 98 yards. Here's a deep ball over the middle. Skrepnak brings it in. Greg Skrepnak with another long reception. This one for 55 yards, and he is finally brought down at around the 43 of Meyers. Greg Skrepnak having himself a career night in what will be the final regular season game of his high school football career. 2 catches for 102 yards. That's the final play of the first quarter. It was all GAR. Stay with us. We'll be back for quarter number 2 when we come back.
On Main and Bennett in Luzerne, there's a scene happening. Hipsters and Cosmo changers are digging a boutique so groovy it'll blow your mind. A place where handmade jewelry, dresses, tie-dyes, hemp items, and accessories are worn by hippies and squares alike. You'll find merchandise from your favorite pop combos. Turn on and stop by Dead Ahead Gifts, 485 Bennett Street, Luzerne, 570-287-2877. It's an eco-friendly gas. It's what's happening, baby. It's where it's at. To browse by modern-day computer, enter deadaheadgifts.com into your mainframe. You can also find them on Facebook. Can you dig it?
Second quarter about to get underway between these two rivals. And believe it or not, it's not going to get underway. We have a timeout, so we'll take a quick break. When we come back, it will be second quarter here on Service Electric, Channel 19.
I felt like a big sister. Now I feel more that we're friends, and we'll be that way for a long time.
Knowing that I have somebody when I need it helps so much.
It's a lot of fun, going bike riding and swimming.
I've seen movies that I would never have seen in my life that he's taken me to.
There are currently hundreds of children throughout the 5 counties served by Big Brothers Big Sisters of the Bridge in need of a mentor. Call now. Start something special today.
So let's try this again. Start of the second quarter about to get underway. Paul Garrity along with you here on week number 10. GAR and Meyers, happy Halloween out there in Luzerne County. GAR dressed in blue, Meyers dressed in white. It's 15-0 Grenadiers, and it's 1st and 10. Rashawn Jackson gets the handoff and dragged down Zahir Donnell. No, that was Josh Shiowitz, number 3. Shiowitz got back there in a hurry and made the stop. Loss of 6 yards on the play, back to the 49. The Meyers defense on the outside of 2 long pass plays has actually done a very nice job tonight. But the Grenadier offense, who came into the game averaging only 81 yards through the air, has already eclipsed that after 2 passes. Second, and they call it 17. Here's Morent. Ball's on the ground again. Meyers had a shot at it. And the Mohawks have it. So for the second time in the game, the Grenadiers put the football on the ground, and both times the Mohawks have seized the opportunity. And trailing 15-0, they will take over once again in good field position. play will go for about 3 yards as they get close to midfield. Meyers really spreading the ball out early in this game. Already 6 players have carried the football, including big Rich Asua, who got a carry. Down inside the 10-yard line. Quick look at the scoreboard on northeastpafootball.com. Shows Lake Lehman leading Dallas 14-7 in the other very important game of the night. It looks like Corey Hansen and the Mohawks will take a timeout. 10 minutes and 12 seconds to go in the first half. They trail it by 15.
The quest for athletic scholarships is becoming as competitive as the action on the field. Video Innovations can turn your game films into highly effective highlight reels that college recruiters demand. We are Northeast Pennsylvania's sports leader, broadcasting and taping high school sporting events for over 15 years. Call 570-719-9986 to make an appointment today.
Welcome back to the Halloween edition of high school football here on Service Electric TV. We will be with you for one final regular season game tomorrow. 7 p.m. kickoff between Holy Redeemer and the Northwest Rangers. From King's College, a little bit of a change of venue. Royals home game will be up at behind Wegmans tomorrow night against Carl Major's Northwest Rangers. Make sure you check it out tomorrow night at 7 p.m. Mark Robinson on the carry, down the sideline. And Mark Robinson is inside the 20-yard line. A pickup of 30 yards, and the best Meyers offensive play of the night puts them in the red zone for the second time here in this first half. Quick look at a couple other scores. Crestwood leads Pottsville 14-7. Wyoming Valley West 14-6 over Williamsport. Berwick leads Hazleton 14-0. All of those scores in the first half. Here's A.J. Mazzone, and he's tripped up after about a 4-yard pickup. They marked the ball at the 20 to start that previous play. So 2nd down and 6 coming up for the Mohawks. Against this tough GAR rushing defense, the Grenadiers only giving up 150 yards on the ground per game over the first 9 weeks. One of the better running defenses in the Wyoming Valley Conference. And here's another example of why. Several players in there on that stop. Saul Wilkins, one of them. Third down, 5 coming up for the Mohawks. Crowd is really filled up. Here's an inside counter play to Shiowitz, and Josh Shiowitz is going to be close to a first down. He's going to be about a yard, maybe a yard and a half short. sure Meyers will go for it here. They need a yard and a half. They trail 15-0 with 8 minutes to go in the first half. Looks like Meyers is going to pick up a first down here as the offensive line gets a good push. That was Quince Hutchings, the 8th different ball carrier already here in the first half for the Mohawks. And he gets all the way down to about the 13-yard line. And with 7:26 to go, GAR will burn their first timeout here in the first half.
I've heard the rumor that Service Electric is trying to replace us as man's best friend. Sure, they have digital cable, video on demand, and tons of high def. But can Service Electric keep the squirrels out of the bird feeder?
No.
Toodaloo, Service Electric.
With Service Electric, you can watch your favorite TV programs in high def, DVR your favorite shows, and watch movies on demand. Enjoy internet speeds up to 25 megs and unlimited local calling, all for one great price. Call Service Electric today.
Back at Wilkes-Barre Memorial Stadium for this rivalry game. Game every player down on this field will remember. Win or lose, you never forget the time you played in the Meyers GAR game. We hope you're enjoying it here in this first half. GAR leading 15-0. First and goal for the Mohawks. And this is going to be a touchdown up the middle for 8 yards. Breaking tackles and getting into the end zone, Mark Robinson, the second leading rusher for the Mohawks, goes in for his 8th rushing touchdown of the season. And after GAR exploded out of the locker room to score the first 2 touchdowns, the Mohawks are right back in it. .37 yards on the ground for Mark Robinson so far, as Gino set his extra point, is up and through the uprights. And with 7:21 to go in the first half, the Mohawks have cut the lead. They trail it 15-7.
I'm socially connected. I've got a smartphone, wireless 4G, and more than 600 online friends. But my most important social connection is being a big brother. For only about 2 hours a week, a volunteer with Big Brothers Big Sisters of the Bridge can raise the self-esteem of a child and improve their life both socially and academically. There are currently hundreds of children throughout the 5 counties served by Big Brothers Big Sisters of the Bridge in need of a mentor. Call now. Start something special today.
All right. Welcome back. Meyers has cut the lead almost in half. They trail 15-7 here in week number 10, Halloween night at Wilkes-Barre Memorial Stadium. The crowd to start the game was a little smaller than expected, but now it has certainly filled up. Both teams with a large contingent of fans. There's quite a few people standing down by the fence. The fan seats are mostly full. A lot of people walking around really all over the stadium. Here's Rashawn Jackson, and he's running down the near sideline. Rashawn Jackson has one man to beat. Can he do it? He is going to be stopped just a little bit short. And let's see if they say that he stepped out of bounds. There's a flag back at the 33-yard line. So this looks like it will come back. Some nice blocking down at the point of attack, down around the other 30. But as Jackson continued on down the field, there was a holding call called against GAR, so a huge call there by the official. It's still going to be great field position for the Grenadiers. That call is 10 yards from the spot of the foul. So GAR takes over at the Meyers 44. Here's Gary Kroll taking the snap. And he will not get the throw off. Quince Hutchings got back there along with Josh Shiowitz to make that sack. And the Meyers crowd is into it now. Big defensive play, loss of 9 yards on the play. Makes it 2nd and 19. Morant lined up as the tailback. Kroll wants to throw. They wanted a screen. How did he get away from that? Gary Kroll did that a couple times last week in the game against Nanticoke. And that's a loss of 1 on the play, but that's the most impressive 1-yard loss you're going to see. Gary Kroll escapes the big loss, and still going to be 3rd and 20. We're past the midway point here in the second quarter. GAR had a 15-0 lead, not even 6 minutes into the game, but Meyers has rallied. Here's Kroll on 3rd and 20. Rashawn Jackson makes the catch. Mark Robinson brings him down about 7 yards short of the first down. Pickup of 13 yards on the play. Gary Kroll 3 for 3 tonight, throwing the ball. That's his shortest completion of the night for 13 yards. GAR will go for it on 4th and 8. Kroll is going to try to run for it, and he's going to get it. The ball is free, and for the 3rd time, Meyers has it. Malik Moore, the defensive tackle, comes up with the fumble recovery. And Meyers has taken advantage of almost every opportunity tonight. 3rd forced turnover here in this first half. Unfortunate for Kroll, he made a good decision to pick up that first down on the ground, but just couldn't hang on to it at the end. Sistrunk on the carry. Nine different ball carriers in the first half for Meyers. Corey Hansen wants to make sure that nobody can say after this week number 10 game that they didn't get a chance to carry the ball against GAR. Second and 10. Here's Dempsey on the jet sweep, and he's brought down. Shaquan Everett got in there along with a couple other GAR players. They call it a loss of 1, so that'll bring up 3rd down and 11. The GAR defense has been a huge story again in this first half. Grenadiers up near the top of the rankings in total defense, led by that tough rush defense. Here's Wallace on 3rd and 11, looking for Donnell, and it's intercepted. Nate Lucky brings it in, the 2nd consecutive week he's made an interception. And the Grenadiers come up with a turnover of their own. They take over at their own 38-yard line. Tough matchup that time. Donnell has all kinds of speed and explosive playmaking but he's not a big kid. And they list Lucky at 5'8", but he looks a little taller than that to me. Here's Drozda getting some yards after contact. That's a gain of 11 yards. Drozda's 3rd carry of the night. Donnell makes the stop. Clock down to 2 minutes and 50 seconds to go here in this first half, with the Grenadiers leading Meyers 15-7. They bring Jackson in motion again, and the handoff goes to Morant. Morant dragged down by Fabian Biggs after a nice gain. Morant's longest rush of the night makes it 2nd down and 1. GAR with 2 timeouts remaining. 2:10 to go. And here's handoff to the fullback. That's Drozda again. He's got 1st down yardage. We'll give him 4 on that carry. For the sophomore fullback, Mike Drozda. Long, prosperous career ahead for that young man. He's just gotten better and better each week. More and more of a factor in this Grenadier offense as we go forward here in the possibly the postseason. Here he is again on 1st down. And again, he's got positive yardage. Pretty good blocking by the left side of the offensive line on that run. Drozda picks up 5 yards. Clock still running down with 1 minute and 8 seconds. Grenadiers better hurry a little bit if they want to put points on the board. Darwin Reyes, the kicker, has a strong leg if they want to try a field goal. Morant gets the sideline. He gets out of bounds to stop the clock. Gain of 15 yards, and that's another GAR 1st down. Anthony Morant is over 1,000 yards for the season. Congratulations to Anthony. Let's not forget he missed the game a couple of weeks ago against Holy Redeemer with a hand injury. So we're talking about 1,000 yards in 9 games. And he's only a junior. So the whole backfield for GAR will be back next season. As Paul Weidlich wants a timeout, 48 seconds to play in the first half. His boys lead it by 8.
When your product isn't as good as cable, you hire an expensive law firm. When you hire an expensive law firm, they write small print.
Smaller.
When people don't read the small print, they sign up for a product that is not as good as cable. When they discover that they signed up for a product that is not as good as cable, they read the small print. When they read the small print, they lose consciousness. Don't lose consciousness. Ditch the dish. Call Service Electric for digital cable and the fastest internet speeds.
Welcome back to a packed house here at Wilkes-Barre Memorial Stadium. Hope you enjoyed your trick-or-treating tonight. Hope you got lots of candy. Got some nice costumes out here in the stands, down in the student sections for both sides. And they've seen a pretty good football game here in the first half. Early on, it looked like GAR may run away with it. They took a quick 15-0 lead, but Meyers has regained their footing. Here's Morant on 1st and 10. Dempsey chases him. Morant looks like he gets out of bounds to stop the clock with 40 seconds left. 14 yards on the pickup. Anthony Morant starting to get things going on the ground. So they stopped the clock to move the chains. Morant did not get out of bounds. GAR with one timeout left. Clock down to 30 seconds. 1st and goal, Morant brought down in the backfield. TJ Sistrunk, the first one there. And Paul Weidlich wants timeout. 23 seconds left in the first half. GAR leads it by 8.
And the crowd goes wild.
If you would like a DVD copy of tonight's game, please send a check or money order for $25 to Video Innovations, 63 Girard Avenue, Plymouth, Pennsylvania, 18651. Please include a note stating which game you would like and your return address. Price includes shipping.
So if Meyers can come up with a defensive stand here, after withstanding that onslaught to begin the game, they would have to be pretty happy going into halftime. Make sure you stay tuned at halftime. We'll have a live performance from the Meyers Marching Band. And Scott Cannon and all the rest of us here at Service Electric crew want to dedicate the halftime entertainment tonight to Mrs. Thomas. So Mrs. Thomas, make sure you stay tuned at halftime for the Meyers Band. Clock here down to 7 seconds. Kroll will spike it with 6 seconds left. So that spike was done on 3rd down. That brings up 4th down. We'll have to see if GAR attempts a field goal here. Darwin Reyes comes out, the kicker for the Grenadiers. Reyes will attempt his 6th successful field goal on the year. It's a good snap. Kroll gets the hold down, and Darwin Reyes kicks it through. A 25-yard field goal for Darwin Reyes. Makes it 18-7. So before we break for halftime, as the clock shows 1 second, take an opportunity to bring you some other scores going on around District 2. For live scores every Friday night, you can check out the website at northeastpafootball.com. They have a up-to-the-minute scoreboard on every game in the Wyoming Valley Conference as well as the Lackawanna Conference. Coughlin leads Tunkhannock 14-0 in the second quarter. Western Wayne 21-6 over Lakeland in the second quarter. Hanover area leads Nanticoke 26-7 in the second quarter. Lake Lehman leads Dallas 20-14, that one approaching halftime as well. Berwick is at the half. They lead Hazleton 28-0. Valley West in a close one against Williamsport. They lead the Millionaires 14-12. And the final game involving Wyoming Valley Conference teams, Crestwood 21 and Pottsville Crestwood 21, Pottsville 7. That one also in the second quarter. So this will be the last play of the first half. And there you have it. GAR 18, Meyers 7. Mrs. Thomas and everyone else, make sure you stay with us. After we take a break, we'll be back with the Wilkes-Barre Meyers halftime band here on Service Electric Channel 19.
I'm Scott Cannon from Video Innovations. I've been producing television commercials and corporate videos for over 15 years, and I'm very excited about video on the internet, your video on the internet. Figuring out the best way to get the most out of your advertising dollars is getting more complicated. There are just too many yellow page books, and some say newspapers won't even be around in 10 years. More and more consumers are going to the web to find what they're looking for. What I do is to take your story, your products, services, your expertise, and package that into a clear and concise 2-minute video that will tell your story to prospective clients. I post your video on my Wyoming Valley business channel so that it's on the internet for people to see and find. You don't even have to have a website. We'll give you a copy of the video on disc, so if you do have a website, you can post it there. You can even email the video to customers. I'll show you how. Call me at 570-719-9986 or visit my website at videoinnovations.com and I'll get your story on the internet.
Grenadiers of GAR hold a 15-7 lead over their arch rivals from across town, the Meyers Mohawks. Both teams back out on the field. Getting set to begin second quarter action here. Meyers dressed in white. On the near sideline to your television set, GAR across the field in their blue uniforms. If you were late joining the party tonight, if you were out getting some candy from your neighbors, you missed a lot of scoring early in the game, all by GAR. First score of the game was a 46-yard touchdown reception by Greg Skrepnek, only 5 minutes into the game, and the extra point made it 7-0. The next score came only about a minute later. It was an interception return by Titus Winstead, the linebacker, the senior for GAR. He picked off a pass from William Wallace and ran it all the way into the end zone from about 20 yards out. The 2-point conversion on a fake extra point was good, and the Grenadiers led it 15-0. That's the way the first quarter ended. But Meyers controlled the second quarter by virtue of 3 turnovers forced. They outscored the Grenadiers 7-0 in the second quarter. The lone score of that quarter came on an 8-yard Mark Robinson run. Here's an onside kick. Meyers has got a great shot at it. Can they come up with it is the question. That is a 50-50 ball. Shaquan Everett is down there for GAR, and the Mohawks have it. Meyers comes up with an onside kick. Corey Hansen rolls the dice coming out of the locker room. And Meyers is fired up here to start this second half. They get the ball in GAR territory. The Mohawks gave the ball to 9 different ball carriers in that first half. The total offense numbers unspectacular. They're going to go backwards here. It was a very penalty-free first half. A little bit surprising with these two teams coming in here all jacked up, wanting to put on a good show against their arch rivals. They managed to be very disciplined in that first half. But the penalty here before the first snap from scrimmage in the second half makes it 1st and 15. Meyers only 73 yards of offense in the first half. Give a lot of the credit to that defensive line of GAR. Donnell takes the snap and runs straight ahead. We'll see if that was just a little bit of a wildcat there, or if we'll see Donnell at quarterback here in the second half. Gain of 1 on the play. Donnell not much of a factor in that first half. According to my statistics here, I had him only for 1 carry for 4 yards. I'm sure we'll see more of him in the second half, no matter what position he lines up at. This time he splits out as a receiver wide to the left. Mark Robinson, the tailback, and they give it on a handoff to the wing back, and that is Michael Dempsey. Dempsey down close to the 40-yard line. Pickup of 6 yards on the carry. For the senior receiver, Michael Dempsey, back in the lineup this week after missing some time due to an injury. Good to see that he's able to play in this rivalry game before he graduates and heads off to his post-graduation plans. 3rd down 8. Mohawks, first drive of the second half. They trail GAR 15-7. Dempsey again, looking to get outside. He's easily has the first down. He's inside the 25. Wrestled to the ground. Some of the Meyers crowd wanted a face mask. That's going to be a long pickup of about 21 yards down to the 20. So some nice ball handling that time by Wallace. I don't think GAR really knew who had the football there for a split second, and with the speed of Dempsey, a split second is all they needed. 1st and 10 Mohawks. Dempsey comes in motion. Here's Robinson on the trap play up the middle, and he's got more positive yardage. Mark Robinson running hard. He looks to have about 9 yards down to about the 13-yard line. They give him the 12. Mark Robinson, the leading ground gainer in the first half for the Mohawks. 6 carries for 37 yards, including an 8-yard touchdown run. Second down 1. Robinson again. He's going to have the first down. Down to about the 10. Wilkes-Barre GAR controls their destiny with a victory here tonight in this game. They will play in week number 11 in the District 2 AA playoffs. Semi-final action getting underway next week. Their opponents next week would very likely be the Dunmore Bucks. Dunmore tonight leading Riverside 41-0 in the second quarter. Here's A.J. Mazzone. Can he get to the end zone? Touchdown Myers. A.J. Mazzone goes in from 10 yards out. The play was designed to go up the middle, but Mazzone bounced it to the outside and had just enough speed to get there. Myers cuts the lead to 5. We'll see what Corey Hansen decides to do here. This would be a spot where you may go for 2. But they bring Gino Setta out for the extra point. Setta, the left-handed kicker. They get the snap down. Kick is wide to the right. So with 9:07 to go here in quarter number 3, we have ourselves a football game. It's 18-13 on Service Electric TV.
At Video Innovations, we take a fresh new approach to producing television commercials, videos for marketing, corporate communications, and websites. We also offer media placement services throughout northeastern Pennsylvania. Call this number or visit our website at videoinnovations.com to see what we can do for your business. It's more affordable than you think. Video Innovations. Our business is your business.
Welcome back to Rivalry Week here at Wilkes-Barre Memorial Stadium. Paul Garrity bringing you the call here in week number 10. The Grenadiers of GAR need a win to advance to the AA district playoffs next week. They could also make it with a Hanover area loss, but the Hawkeyes have a 18-point lead over the Trojans of Nanticoke as that game has gone to halftime. So if that score holds, this is what amounts to a playoff game tonight for the Grenadiers. If they win, they will advance. If they lose, they will maybe play in the Eastern Conference. This ball is going to be recovered by Meyers, and it'll be Mohawk ball inside the 10-yard line. So a mental mistake that time by the Grenadiers. A kickoff is a live football, and if nobody jumps on it for the receiving team, it's a free ball, and the kicking team is able to recover it. So Meyers heads up. They take advantage of another opportunity to pick up a loose football, and they can take the lead here with a touchdown. Here's Dempsey around left end, cuts back, touchdown Mohawks. Michael Dempsey from 10 yards out, and after another GAR mistake, Meyers capitalizes to take a 1-point lead. Meyers will go for 2 here with 9 minutes to go in the third. Robinson gets the pitch, and he's not going to get there. So a wild start to the second half has Meyers out in front by 1. We'll be back here on Service Electric TV.
On Main and Bennett in Luzerne, there's a scene happening. Hipsters and Cosmo changes are digging a boutique so groovy, it'll blow your mind. A place where handmade jewelry, dresses, tie-dyes, hemp items, and accessories are worn by hippies and squares alike. You'll find merchandise from your favorite pop combos. Turn on and stop by Dead Ahead Gifts, 485 Bennett Street, Luzerne, 570-287-2877.
So on Halloween night, we have had a very wild football game, especially here the first 3 minutes of the second half. Scary things happen on Halloween, and it's been a very bizarre start to this second half. This will be Meyers' third kickoff as we've come out of halftime, and GAR still hasn't gotten the ball. Another onside kick, and this time the Grenadiers fall on it. Austin Yelland, sophomore, was able to pounce on that football that time for the Grenadiers. So we'll see how GAR responds here. After a couple special teams opportunities for Meyers are capitalized on, and after really controlling most of this football game, they find themselves trailing by a point. Kroll as they go with the pistol set. Here's Morent on the pitch, and he's brought down to the backfield. AJ Mazzone along with TJ Sistrom got back there. Gain of only 1 yard on the play for Morent, who went over the 1,000-yard mark for the season in that first half. 11 carries for 52 yards for Anthony. GAR 20 carries as a team, rushing-wise, for only 68 yards. Grenadiers have done most of their damage tonight through the air. Gary Kroll 3 for 4 in the first half for 115 yards and a touchdown. Mike Drozda, the sophomore fullback, is into the secondary past the 30. Mike Drozda running hard and free into the secondary down to the 22-yard line. A gain of 34 yards on the play. And how's that for a response? We've talked about it. We haven't talked about it actually, but we've been talking about it here in the booth. This rope that Meyers is hanging on to, and we'll show you that after this play. We know we've showed you it several times tonight. The rope is a symbol that the coaching staff came up with, and this is done in different football teams at all different levels throughout the country, but it's the first time I've ever seen it on a sideline. The idea behind it is that Meyers has obviously faced some adversity over the last 6 weeks, coming in with a 6-game losing streak, and what the coaching staff said to the players is that if you are on a cliff and you're about to fall off and you're holding onto a rope, you want to be able to count on the person that's holding the other end of the rope so you don't fall off the cliff. So Corey Hansen and his staff come up with that to bring some unity and togetherness to this Meyers team and make sure they're all on the same page going into this big game against their rival. And it seems to have worked because, let's face it, the Mohawks got down here big 15-0 to start the game, and you know what? They could have said, well, it's just not our season, but they've hung in together, they've been unified, and they've taken a 1-point lead. 3rd and 7, Grenadiers. Kroll keeps it himself, has some daylight, and has the end zone touchdown. Gary Kroll, the junior quarterback, gets in from 18 yards out. And just like that, the Grenadiers are back out in front. Now GAR lines up to go for 2, leading by 5. They want to make it a touchdown and an extra point difference. Moret gets the carry and goes in untouched. Successful 2-point conversion makes it 26-19 with still almost 7 minutes to go here in the 3rd quarter.
Oh, this is the life.
Yep. Come on, fathead, you're blocking the sun.
Yeah.
Unlike you slackers, I'll be back on top in no time.
Yeah, that's what I thought 40 years ago. Kid, you can't compete with cable. They have on-demand, high-speed internet and unlimited calling.
They can do all that?
Yeah, and for less money.
Pass the sunblock.
What a football game we have here in week number 10. So much on the line for GAR, a playoff spot hanging in the balance. And you know that the Mohawks would love nothing more than to play spoiler tonight over their arch rivals. Knock the Grenadiers from playoff contention and have some sweet bragging rights for life. Here's Robinson from the 11. And he's brought down at the 35-yard line. The kicker, Darwin Reyes, gets down there to make the stop. With 6:39 to go here in the 3rd quarter, Meyers finds themselves down by only 7 points. Dempsey comes in motion. Wallace hands to Mazzone. And the GAR defensive line once again. Jeremy Earhart in there along with Drozda to make that hit. Gain of 1, it'll be 2nd and 9. GAR took a 15-0 lead, not even 6 minutes into the game. But Meyers has shown some mental toughness, and they are right in this one. Mark Robinson on the zone read takes the handoff from Donnell and is dropped for a loss of 1. Meyers has really taken advantage of some GAR mistakes in this game. 3 recovered fumbles for Meyers on defense, a recovered onside kick to start the second half, and then another recovery on a kickoff that no one from GAR really picked up. Wallace rolls to the right, he wants to throw, and it is caught! Wrestling the ball away from the defender is TJ Sistrunk, the tight end. That is a first down for the Mohawks and a pickup of 24 yards. How about the effort by Sistrunk that time to prevent the interception? Dejan Rush had both hands on it. This Mohawk team has come to play tonight. They're fighting and scrapping for the ball. It's a gain of 21. First pass completion of the night for the Mohawks. Donnell is under center this time. And he keeps it himself on another read play. Picks up about 3 yards. Don't forget, we'll be with you tomorrow night from King's College for a high school football game as Northwest takes on Holy Redeemer. We'll be on the air at 7 p.m. tomorrow night for that one here on Channel 19. Second down, and they call it 8. Here's Wallace again, and a nice throw, but it's incomplete. Wallace put that one on the money, but pretty good coverage out there, and Donnell not able to bring it in. So that'll bring up a 3rd down 8, 4:26 to go here in the 3rd quarter. Meyers with the football, trailing by 7 points. Donnell splits out wide to the right this time. Here's Dempsey on another handoff. Flag comes in. We may have a holding call against the Mohawks. So we'll see what Paul Weidlich wants to do here. He could set up a 4th and 3 if he declines the penalty. I would expect them to take the penalty here and set up 3rd and forever. But it could really go either way here. The penalty's accepted, so it'll be 3rd down and about 18 yards. Back at the 43-yard line. Meyers continues to hold on to the rope over on their sideline, a symbol of unity put in this week by the coaching staff. Wonder if their arms are getting tired from raising it up that high. Here's Wallace on 3rd and long. Another flag is down. The pass is complete to Dempsey. But once again, Meyers is going to be pushed backward. Dempsey was about 6 yards short of the first down on the catch. Paul Weidlich with another decision here. And he decides to push the Mohawks back further, so Meyers is going in the wrong direction. I'm trying to do the math here. This is going to be 3rd down and about 34 yards to go. We'll see what they come up with here in a not an advantageous situation. Here's Dempsey, and he is brought down. Greg Skrepnak came in there to make a nice stop in the backfield. No chance on that play for Dempsey. And a frightful series of downs there on this Halloween night for the Mohawks. Brings up 4th down. It'll be a punt. Gino Setta, the lefty punter, back to punt, and it'll be Morent standing back at his own 44. This is a good kick. Morent has it at his own 41, straight up the middle. And Anthony Morent, pretty good return of 14 yards, and it'll be Grenadier football in Mohawk territory, leading by 7 points with 2:46 to go here in the 3rd quarter. Taking a look at NortheastPAFootball.com for some updated scores. We'll have those for you shortly. Mike Drozda on another carry, and both hands on the football. He gains another 5 yards. Drozda with some efficient running tonight. I have him for 66 yards on only 4 carries. With an average like that, you're going to accomplish a lot, that's for sure. Crestwood's lead is up to 36-7 over Pottsville. 2nd and 5. This time Drozda is brought down. Rich Asua with a nice tackle. Sistrunk was there as well. No gain on the play makes it 3rd and 5. Dunmore leads Riverside 41-6 in the 3rd quarter. The Bucks will very likely be the Grenadier opponent next week in the district semifinals if GAR is able to finish this game with a win. 3rd and 5. Morent, the tailback. They fake the handoff. Kroll keeps it himself. He picks up another 1st down on the ground, and much, much more. Gary Kroll down to the 15-yard line. They mark him out at the 17. That's a gain of 18 more yards for the Grenadier quarterback. Kroll over 40 yards rushing tonight, and they've been important yards. Kroll on the last Grenadier possession ran into the end zone from 20 yards out on a 3rd down play to give the Grenadiers the lead. On 1st and 10, he's back to throw, and he's sacked. Dropped in the backfield to set up a 2nd down. That was Alfonso Mondragon who got back there to make that sack. And it's 2nd and 14. Clock is under a minute here in the 3rd quarter. Kroll keeps it himself again. Pretty good effort. Kroll didn't want to go down. He eventually does after about a 6-yard gain. Quince Hutchings was in there on the stop in that sea of bodies. That will likely be the final play here in the third quarter as Kroll comes over to the sideline. So that will do it. And after 3 quarters of play here in this rivalry matchup between Wyoming Valley Conference teams, we head to the fourth with the Grenadiers in front by 7.
I'm Scott Cannon from Video Innovations. I've been producing television commercials and corporate videos for over 15 years, and I'm very excited about video on the internet, your video on the internet. Figuring out the best way to get the most out of your advertising dollars is getting more complicated. There are just too many yellow page books, and some say newspapers won't even be around in 10 years. More and more consumers are going to the web to find what they're looking for. What I do is to take your story, your products, services, your expertise, and package that into a clear and concise 2-minute video that will tell your story to prospective clients. I post your video on my Wyoming Valley business channel so that it's on the internet for people to see and find. You don't even have to have a website. We'll give you a copy of the video on disc, so if you do have a website, you can post it there. You can even email the video to customers. I'll show you how. Call me at 570-719-9986 or visit my website at videoinnovations.com and I'll get your story on the internet.
"12 minutes remaining here in one of the best rivalries in all of northeastern Pennsylvania, and the Grenadiers of GAR hope that there are not only 12 minutes remaining in their season. They need a win to advance to the District 2 playoffs, and they have a 7-point lead over the Mohawks of Meyers with 12 minutes remaining in the regulation. 3rd down 8 for the Grenadiers. Drozda comes in motion. Morant gets the pitch. Anthony Morant fighting into the end zone. Touchdown, GAR. 15-yard run from Anthony Morant. And the Grenadiers have seized back control of this game. They lead it by 13 points. After 4 touchdowns last week for Morant, he hits pay dirt for the first time tonight. And for the 13th time this season on the ground, Darwin Reyes kicks the extra point. 7 seconds into the fourth quarter, Grenadiers lead it by 14 here on Service Electric TV.
Oh, this is the life.
Yep. Come on, fathead, you're blocking the sun.
Yeah.
Unlike you slackers, I'll be back on top in no time.
Yeah, that's what I thought 40 years ago. Kid, you can't compete with cable. They have on-demand, high-speed internet and unlimited calling.
They can do all that?
Yeah, and for less money.
Pass the sunblock.
Welcome back to Wilkes-Barre Memorial Stadium, where the Grenadiers of GAR just scored another touchdown to take a 33-19 lead over the Mohawks of Meyers. Hanover area leads Nanticoke 32-14 in the third quarter, so this is a must-win for GAR if they would like to play football next week in the district playoffs. So far, so good. Donnell picks up the football, and pretty good coverage by GAR. Meyers will have a long field here as they trail by 14 points. One of the other extremely important games in the Wyoming Valley Conference tonight has the Dallas Mountaineers trailing Lake Lehman 26-14. That game in the fourth quarter. If Dallas loses that game, they are in danger of missing the district playoffs. A huge surprise that it will affect Dallas. Honesdale is tied with Montrose in the fourth quarter, 14-14. So if Honesdale loses that game, that will actually help the Mountaineers quite a bit. On 1st and 10, Wallace throws left sideline, and it's complete. Michael Dempsey, a nice sliding reception. Gain of 6 yards, and Wallace's second completion here in this second half. Michael Dempsey's 13th reception on the year. He's missed some time due to injury. Just back for tonight's game. Second and a long 3. Robinson gets the carry, and he is shoved backward. Saul Wilkins, along with Anthony Easter, making the stop for GAR. This front 5, or front 4, I should say, for GAR. Probably haven't talked enough about them tonight. They've done an excellent job. They held Meyers to 73 rushing yards on 20 carries in the first half, which is excellent work. Third and 4 for the Mohawks. Wallace pitches this time, and that's going to be well short of a first down. As Robinson, really no room to run here in this second half. No gain on that play. It sets up a 4th and 4. We'll see if it's a little bit too early for Corey Hansen to take a big gamble. It looks like he'll send out Seta to punt. The Mohawks unsuccessful on a fake punt in the first quarter. This time Seta boots it away, and it's a high, fairly short kick. Diving catch by Dejan Rush at the 44-yard line. So GAR in great position at this point, leading by 14 points. 9:25 remaining here in the fourth quarter. You have to think that the boys over on the far sideline dressed in blue have to be smelling that district playoff berth. If they could avoid the turnover here, they should be on their way. Drozda in motion. And a whistle and a flag comes in. They may have taken too much time. Illegal substitution called against Meyers. That's a 5-yard penalty for too many men in the huddle. That game next week against Dunmore will be played in Dunmore. Again, assuming GAR holds on to this win. Most likely that game would be played on Friday night. The other 3 teams that have advanced to the AA playoffs are Northwest, Dunmore, of course, as well as Lake Lehman. 1st and 5 as they give it to Morent. Morent gets into the second level, brought down by Hutchings at the 37-yard line, gain of 12 yards. I have Morent for 80 yards on 14 carries here tonight, along with a 15-yard touchdown on the previous Grenadier possession. Congratulations to Anthony for going over 1,000 yards tonight. He needed 39 coming into the game, and that's with missing a game due to injury. Cole wants to throw, and he holds on to it, and the Meyers defense gets there. That's a sack. Shiowitz was in there along with Khalid Williams. Probably a smart play by Kroll to hang on to that if he wasn't totally sure of the throw. Keep the clock moving and avoid that turnover, which would be really devastating at this point. Gary Kroll has played one of his better games of the season here. He's thrown for 115 yards and a touchdown, along with some nice running on some key third down pickups. False start called here against GAR. If you are a GAR fan, I should mention, and you're interested in listening to the game next week, you can hear that game on northeastpafootball.com with an internet connection. Throw over the middle, complete to Morent. Morent inside the 40. This is another first down. And did he step out of bounds is the question. No, that's a touchdown for the Grenadiers. Anthony Morent with a magic act down the near sideline. I thought he had stepped out of bounds, and I think the Meyers defense did too. But he goes all the way into the end zone. No flags are on the field, and GAR is all of a sudden taking a 3-touchdown lead. Timeout on the field. We'll step aside with 7:33 remaining. Extra point to come when we come back.
I felt like a big sister. Now I feel more that we're friends and we'll be that way for a long time.
Knowing that I have somebody when I need it helps so much.
It's a lot of fun going bike riding and swimming.
I've seen movies that I would never have seen in my life that he's taken me to.
There are currently hundreds of children throughout the 5 counties served by Big Brothers Big Sisters of the Bridge in need of a mentor. Call now. Start something special today.
Injured Meyers player down in the field, TJ Sistrunk. He's quickly up, and he doesn't appear to be anything overly serious. He's shaking hands with some of the Meyers fans over on the sideline, so Sistrunk may have just got his bell rung, a little bit shaken up. He comes to the sideline. Anthony Morent just caught a screen pass and scampered 49 yards down the sideline. And GAR at this point, with only 7.5 to go in the game, looks like they will be heading into the district playoffs next week. Darwin Reyes extra point is good once again. GAR has scored 40, and they lead the Mohawks by 21.
The quest for athletic scholarships is becoming as competitive as the action on the field. Video innovations can turn your game films into highly effective highlight reels that college recruiters demand. We are Northeast Pennsylvania's sports leader, broadcasting and taping high school sporting events for over 15 years. Call 570-719-9986 to make an appointment today.
So how about the night for Gary Kroll? The junior quarterback for Meyers has only thrown 5 passes in the game. He's thrown for 2 touchdowns. He's completed 4 out of the 5 passes that he's thrown for 164 yards. How's that for an average? Kroll now up to 11 touchdowns for the season. Been very efficient in an offense that doesn't really throw the ball all that much. Sistrunk back on the field, tackled by Morent. GAR has recovered from several mistakes here tonight. They've lost 3 fumbles and a couple mental errors really on special teams. An onside kick they were unable to recover to start the second half, and then a bizarre play where Meyers kicked the ball off and ball just kind of rolled down inside the 10-yard line. No one from GAR went for it, and Meyers said, "We'll take it." They hopped on it, and that led to a touchdown. Meyers took the lead at that point by a score of 19-18, but since then, 22 unanswered by the Grenadiers, and they keep it rolling here. Jeremy Earhart and Greg Skrepnak get back there to make the sack. Loss of about 9 on the play. And right now, the Grenadiers are kind of throwing a party here on Halloween night. Under 7 to go, some of the crowd filing out. Dempsey gets the handoff, and he's got some pretty good yardage. Big stick made at the end. Rashawn Jackson came up to lay the wood on the diminutive Dempsey, but it's a pretty good gain. They give him 12 yards to the 37. Dempsey has carried the ball 5 times for 39 yards tonight. Pretty good work done by the senior. Michael Dempsey in his final high school football game tonight. All of these Mohawks playing in their final game. We wish all the young men well, whatever their future holds. Wallace is tackled. Saul Wilkins laid a heavy hit on him after a short gain. Wallace comes up gimpy. I don't blame him after that hit. And he's gonna take a knee, and we'll check on his status when we come back from a break. 6:08 to go, and the Grenadiers lead it by 3 touchdowns.
I'm Scott Cannon from Video Innovations. I've been producing television commercials and corporate videos for over 15 years, and I'm very excited about video on the internet, your video on the internet. Figuring out the best way to get the most out of your advertising dollars is getting more complicated. There are just too many yellow page books, and some say newspapers won't even be around in 10 years. More and more consumers are going to the web to find what they're looking for. What I do is to take your story, your products, services, your expertise, and package that into a clear and concise 2-minute video that will tell your story to prospective clients. I post your video on my Wyoming Valley Business channel so that it's on the internet for people to see and find. You don't even have to have a website. We'll give you a copy of the video on disc, so if you do have a website, you can post it there. You can even email the video to customers. I'll show you how. Call me at 570-719-9986 or visit my website at videoinnovations.com and I'll get your story on the internet.
Willie Wallace comes off the field. He's holding his left side. It appeared to be some sort of a rib injury of some sort, but seems to be walking okay, so hopefully nothing too serious. It's 4th down and 6 for the Mohawks, trailing by 21. Donnell is going to have to really make something happen here. And he almost does it, but he's going to be stopped about 3 yards short of the first down. And the Grenadiers will take over on downs at the Meyers 40-yard line. Zahir Donnell, quiet night. Came into the game over 800 yards rushing and 8 touchdowns. Lined up at wide receiver for most of this game as Mark Robinson carried the ball 11 times. And they really got a lot of players into the action here tonight for the Mohawks. Clock shows 5:45, and the Grenadiers just need to avoid turnovers here as they pitch to Morent. And Anthony adds to his impressive statistics as he gets down inside the 20. It's going to be about 21 more yards for Morent. That puts him unofficially over 100 for the night. This Grenadier rushing offense that came into the game averaging 224 yards a game was held to 68 in the first half. They've done better work here in the second as Morent spins off. No, that was not Morent. I think the ball came loose there. We have a Meyers player down on the field. So with 5:09 to go, we'll check on the young man's status and we'll have more football for you here when we come back.
On Main and Bennett in Luzerne, there's a scene happening. Hipsters and Cosmo changes are digging a boutique so groovy, it'll blow your mind. A place where handmade jewelry, dresses, tie-dyes, hemp items, and accessories are worn by hippies and squares alike. You'll find merchandise from your favorite pop combos. Turn on and stop by Dead Ahead Gifts, 485 Bennett Street, Luzerne, 570-287-2877.
When your product isn't as good as cable, you hire an expensive law firm. When you hire an expensive law firm, they write small print.
Smaller.
When people don't read the small print, they sign up for a product that is not as good as cable. When they discover that they signed up for a product that is not as good as cable, they read the small print. When they read the small print, they lose consciousness. Don't lose consciousness. Ditch the dish. Call Service Electric for digital cable and the fastest internet speeds.
A.J. Mazzone limps off the field for Meyers. GAR will travel to Lackawanna County next week to face the Dunmore Bucks. Dunmore has been really rolling through their opponents. They've won their last 9 ball games. After a season opening loss to Scranton Prep, Dunmore has had very few, if any, close ball games after that. Grenadiers will have their hands full next week in that district semifinal. Here's Dejan Rush on the carry. So after a GAR penalty, made it 1st and 15. Rush with another big play, and this Grenadier rushing attack really taking control here. Pickup of more than the 15 needed. 1st and goal, Grenadiers. Already leading by 21 points. Kroll gives to Marat, cuts it back, and goes in for another Grenadier touchdown. Anthony Marat with his 3rd touchdown of the night. His 2nd of the rushing variety. That is his 14th rushing touchdown of the season. We'll see if Kroll can run it in. As the snap was low, he may have gotten there. No. So the extra point on the bad snap is no good, but it's all Grenadiers here in the second half. They'll be playing next week, and we have 4.5 to go here in week number 10.
The quest for athletic scholarships is becoming as competitive as the action on the field. Video innovations can turn your game films into highly effective highlight reels that college recruiters demand. We are Northeast Pennsylvania's sports leader, broadcasting and taping high school sporting events for over 15 years. Call 570-719-9986 to make an appointment today.
Welcome back to a Halloween party for Wilkes-Barre GAR and their fans, both here at the stadium and back there at home. Thanks again for joining us here for high school football. We hope you've enjoyed all the broadcasts this season, not just tonight. We'll be with you again tomorrow night at 7 p.m. for the final game for the Holy Redeemer seniors, as they will take on the Northwest Rangers. If you're a Holy Redeemer fan, you can't make it out to King's College tomorrow. And a little bit of a change of venue. The game tomorrow night between Northwest and Holy Redeemer will be at 7 p.m. at King's College. And it will also be right here on Channel 19. So one way or the other, make sure you check that one out. One more reminder, if you're a GAR fan and you're not able to make it to the game next week, you'll be able to hear that game on the computer. And it may be on the radio as well, but I know for a fact that that game will be heard at www.northeastpafootball.com. So you can listen to that game on your computer, actually, or on your smartphone if you have one. Timeout called by Meyers. 4:23 to go in the fourth quarter. It's all GAR here at Wilkes-Barre Memorial.
I've heard the rumor that Service Electric is trying to replace us as man's best friend. Sure, they have digital cable, video on demand, and tons of high def. But can Service Electric keep the squirrels out of the bird feeder?
No.
Toodaloo, Service Electric.
With Service Electric, you can watch your favorite TV programs in high def, DVR your favorite shows, and watch movies on demand. Enjoy internet speeds up to 25 megs and unlimited local calling, all for one great price. Call Service Electric today.
The GAR Grenadiers, after falling behind 19-18, have scored the next 27 unanswered points. Anthony Moret has scored the last 3 touchdowns. Zahir Donnell in at quarterback now. Willie Wallace went out with an injury. Donnell gets no gain on that play. Both of these teams have quite a bit of their team returning next season. So this Meyers team will finish the year at 3-7, and they'll end the year on a 7-game losing streak. But a lot of injuries for this squad this season. Started off fantastic, 3-0 to start the year for Meyers this year, before the injuries really made it impossible for them to do much going forward. Pass here is complete to Mark Robinson. 19 yards on the pickup. And a nice throw by Zahir Donnell. Mark Robinson will be back next season, the explosive player for the Mohawks. He was another one that missed some time this year due to injury. Donnell rolling, he wants to throw it. And now he runs into a GAR player. It'll be a gain of 2 yards. Justin Crosby was, I believe, the player that made that stop. Clock running down under 3.5 minutes to go. GAR will improve to 7-3 on the season. And under Coach Paul Weidlich, they have made it a habit of advancing to the district playoffs. Coach Weidlich's first 2 seasons resulted in gold medals. We'll see if they can make it 3 out of 5 this season. Michael Dempsey, he's going to try to create some excitement in what may be his final carry of his career. Flag comes in. Check on some other scores here one more time before we leave you for the night. Again, one more reminder for all the GAR fans out there. Next week's game in the district semifinals versus Dunmore, if you're not able to make it out to the game, most likely will not be on television. You can hear that game on the internet on www.northeastpafootball.com. You can listen on your computer or on your smartphone. And everybody got started here except for the center. This will be 5 yards against Meyers. Crestwood was victorious tonight. They improved to 10-0 with a 50-20 win over Pottsville. The aforementioned Dunmore Bucks 41-18 over Riverside tonight. That one's still going in the 4th quarter. Wyoming Valley West had a struggle against Williamsport tonight, but it looks like they'll get it done. They lead Williamsport 35-25 in the 4th quarter. Berwick defeated Hazleton tonight 56-6. And in maybe the most important game other than this one, Lake Lehman leads Dallas in the 4th quarter 26-20. Donnell completes to Sistrunk, who is picked up and put to the ground inside to the 20-yard line. Second consecutive completion for Donnell. as the clock runs down to 1.5 minutes to go. Scranton 16-3 over Abington Heights tonight, that one in the fourth quarter. Honesdale leads Montrose 28-14 in the fourth quarter. So if that score holds, Dallas likely will need to come back against Lake Lehman tonight to make the district playoffs. Hanover area leads Nanticoke by 17 points in the fourth quarter. Ball is free on the field, and this is an incomplete pass. In the final game involving Wyoming Valley Conference teams, Coughlin leads Tunkhannock in the fourth quarter, 21-9. Looks like the Coughlin Crusaders will get victory number 6 on the season behind Coach Ciro Cini. 1:02 left on the clock. We'll see if Meyers can punch one in here before their seniors head off to the end of their high school football careers. Donnell wants to make something happen, and he's eventually brought down. Ball is free, and it looks like that's going to be a turnover. GAR recovers the fumble. Darwin Reyes pounced on it. And with 49 seconds remaining, that's going to do it. This will be my final game for the season, football-wise. Rob Nyhard will be on the call tomorrow night at 7 p.m. from King's College as Northwest takes on Holy Redeemer. So make sure you tune in tomorrow night. Just want to thank the fine people at Service Electric for the opportunity, and Scott Cannon for the opportunity to call some games this season. I really enjoyed it. Hope everyone out there has been enjoying the broadcast here in 2014 as well in previous seasons. Great privilege to bring you this football action and bring you some exposure for these young men as they put the time and commitment in, not only at Friday nights, but all during the summer and all during the season. It's a 12 months a year commitment at this point to play high school football, and all these young men, for all the teams that you've seen all season long on our airwaves, deserve a tremendous amount of credit for the work that they put in, for the commitment and sacrifice that they make to play high school football. But for tonight, this is one the Grenadiers will remember for a long time. They clinch a District 2 playoff berth. They will face the Dunmore Bucks next week in the district semifinals. Congratulations to the Meyers Mohawks and Coach Corey Hansen for overcoming a lot of adversity, a lot of injuries this season, and finishing out the season, giving us an exciting football game tonight, especially for the first 3 quarters. So once again, your final score here from Wilkes-Barre Memorial Stadium: GAR 46 and Meyers 19. Our final regular season broadcast will be at 7 o'clock tomorrow night, as Rob Nyhard will be on the call for Northwest taking on Holy Redeemer. For our jack of all trades, Scott Cannon, along with our fine camera crew, I'm Paul Garrity, thanking you for joining us, and we'll see you tomorrow night at 7 p.m.